down the lap with no one on my six. I'm going to grab that chicken flag, I've got to clear that mix. I slammed the pedal down to the metal and I found another gear. I rode the draft, flew right past the driver of the year. I said, vroom, vroom, vroom. Lord, slide sideways, vroom, 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 and the crash bang boom.
Here's his actions that caused the accident.
Failed to yield right away.
Right of way.
Hold on. What? He's going in the wrong lane.
But I thought they said in the other document that he was ran off the.
But that's what he was charged.
Hey, Spencer.
He wasn't charged with running off the road. He was charged with failure to yield the right of way.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's the mark that he was charged for, convicted of.
But this says actions that the driver contributed. Select up to 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're still on mistake.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
It should have been none.
Shouldn't have been none. There should be
None.
none.
None is an option. None.
He did nothing. Try to avoid. He was just trying to get off the road so nobody slammed in the ass of him. You see,
I mean,
do you remember the bend that they were just coming out of? It was a dead right bend, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
Notice
The
it wasn't
Reverend
improper,
talked about it.
Wasn't improper passing or anything like that.
If he would have pulled off to the right side of the road with nothing to pull, you're going to be plowed into. Look, let me show you the evidence.
It was damned if he did, damned if he didn't on that, huh?
Professor, let me show you the evidence. Do you hear me? Hold on, here we go. Let's go back and look at the bend. 60, bam, right here. All right.
Hold on. Go back to the, can you go back to the first bend that came up on it?
All right. Go ahead then, Blue Line Slayer. What do you want?
There you go. See, look at that. That's the first bend right there, right?
See how the mountain goes up to? There's no shoulder. There's no nothing. At this point, the speed limit's 45.
And it's 45.
And he's doing 80 probably, like you said, dude. 45 around this bend.
I'm doing 60 right here. If you pull off in a 700 yards, because I measured it from this bend all the way to where the accident happened is 700 yards.
Okay.
From that 45 mile per hour sign to where the accident happened was 700 yards.
Mm.
He was flying.
He was flying. You can travel when you're going that fast, those 700 yards isn't anything.
Remember, Thimble Lawn Slayer, we calculated it the other night by going 55, 65, 75, and 85. I think 75.
75.
And
it was like
it's about 6 seconds at
6
75
seconds.
miles per hour from the time that this trooper or this deputy comes around this bend to the time where he makes impact. Tell me any person that's on the road that sees this fucker flying up behind you like that is going to make the proper decision at 8 o'clock at night.
Because this is when we determined he probably first saw the guy's car. So he probably hit his lights here. Right here. He probably hit his lights. And
see this car right here?
And when you hit those lights at night, they're going to reflect off of everything, not just your mirror, but the trees, the ground, because that's what they're supposed to. And the lights are distracting.
Right here, this bend, I'm analogizing as Mr. as I'm coming around this bend, right? Can everybody follow that? This is Mr. This is the first, the deputy first sees Mr. Also, where he says he activates his lights. This is where deputy said he activated his lights, I'm assuming, giving him the benefit of the doubt that he comes around here, he sees Mr. right here. He activates his lights. Does not activate his siren, though, at this point.
Chirps. Oh, no, that wasn't even yet. He just activated his lights. Yep.
No, but he's getting ready to go into the other lane to pass him because he knows that he's going to have to pass him. He already knows that this is what's going to happen. Mr.
Right.
White doesn't, but he does.
Mr. White has no clue, and that's what they mentioned. The bitch in the prosecutor. Well, the officer had no way of knowing what Mr. White was doing. Your motherfucking client is in the other fucking lane, and you're asking who is supposed to know what who's supposed to be doing, you stupid cunt.
No shit. Hey, no shit. That's funny. No shit.
For God's sakes, your client is in the other lane, past a double line on a fucking blind bend. And you're wondering what Mr. White is thinking? Mr. White's thinking, what a crazy fucking asshole lunatic this motherfucker is.
I would have thought the same thing. Hey, like I said, no matter what decision Mr. White made, he was screwed, dude. The guy was when they're coming in on something like that, by law, they still have to be in control of their vehicle. They can't just run up and start plowing into people and start blaming the other person because the officer wasn't in control of his vehicle. It still says in that statute that the officer has to maintain control of his vehicle. Listen, if he has all the front damage...
That's the number one rule of every insurance company when looking at an accident, that you must be in control of your own vehicle at all times because you can't control somebody else's. You can only control yours.
He's in the wrong lane. All the damages to the front of the officer's vehicle. Whoever has front damage.
You're getting ahead of us because that's on a different page.
Sorry.
That's on a different page.
But he's flying though.
Yeah, he's flying. So
around that corner, around those corners.
Now, the point for me going back. Let me.
Hey, and you said you were doing 65 around there, and it was hard for you to handle. So there you go.
65 around that bend, and I was leaning. If you see the inside, because I have an inside camera also. Okay.
Yep.
Slayer saw it. When I come around that bend doing 65, I was leaning to the inside. I'm telling you.
Yep, he was.
Okay. So the reason why I brought it back to this bend is because you tell me at any point where Mr. White feels like it's safe without anybody rear-ending him coming around that bend going 55. And you know how people like to speed. So tell me where Mr. White had any place to pull over. 60, bam, right here.
Now, where's he supposed to pull over?
Where was he supposed to pull over?
I cleared the pack and they never looked back. Like a lucky dog, I caught that caution flag. Once the track is clear and we got the green, I'll set a fire that gasoline. Them racing girls been cheering me on, a redhead, brunette, dirty blonde. Racing girls are mighty fine, champagne at the finish line. Some do it for the trophy, some do it for the cash. We do it for the racing girls, even if we crash. Our race days got started, our race days will bloom. Lord, don't let our race days go crash, bang, boom. I said, vroom, vroom, vroom. Lord, I'm sliding sideways. Vroom, 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 and a crash, bang, boom.